Hi, my name is Raphael. Today is the 18th of August 2026, and I had a vision today about 5:20 a.m. where I saw a serpent swallow Nigeria. Don't panic. It was actually a very good vision, but I explain what actually happened later. But I want to go back to about 30 years ago when I had a dream or had a vision also when I was praying about Nigeria. It was over 3 days. I've shared that before. The first day I saw Nigeria was like it was like it was like a map on the floor, and I saw water coming to engulf the nation of Nigeria. That was the first day, and it was very scary. The next day, I saw about the same time to us. It was about 6 o'clock in the evening. I saw there was holes on the ground, and the water was diverted into the holes, and I saw the nation start to rise up. And then in the end, I saw the third day. I saw the nation had risen up totally. It started to shine and glisten. And somebody brought a crown and put it on the nation. And I had somebody say, "How could that have happened?" And someone said that it's because of God, that it was that God came and God delivered the nation. And by the blood, I saw the blood coming out. And the blood of Jesus Christ actually purified the nation. That was about 30 years ago. And then today at about 5:20 a.m., I saw a vision again. I saw a serpent swallow Nigeria. And I was just, it was kind of, early morning. We just finished praying, my wife and myself. I was lying down, and then I saw that kind of thing in my mind. I saw this large serpent, with the mouth open, swallowing Nigeria, and its tail was from the south, and the head was towards the north, and then the nation could, you could see the nation, you could see the nation completely through the serpent head. It was shaped like the serpent's head, so it's kind of taking on the nature of the serpent. It was superimposed on the nation, and the nation looked green. It was kind of looked green and nice and lush. You know, just like the pattern of the head of the serpent. But then, as we prayed, the serpent was removed and taken out, and then the nation looked black and kind of dead. Then antivenom was taken and put into the nation. It was injected in, and then it started to change color. It was very red, and it was kind of started to grow red and started to look normal again. And the blackness was being removed. There was a restoration and healing. It was just kind of being, it was like a whole process of restoration. And then so I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, why why was nation green before? And I said that why was it green and looked nice, even though you had a serpent over it? And he says it was like a false peace. It was a false prosperity. It was like all was looking well and peaceful, but there was danger. And I said, why was it black? He said, because it was decaying and it was death. It was death beneath the facade of lushness. There was a destruction of the people, of the nation, and the way of life. And I said, then why did you become bloody after the antivenom came? He says, because it countered the venom by the blood of the Lamb. He said, the life is in the blood, and the redness speaks of life coming back to the nation again. And I said, okay, Lord. I said, but why was a tail in the south? Because Nigeria, a lot of issues are from the north. So I said, why is a tail in the south? Because people come from the north and cause a lot of national problems in the whole nation, destruction, killings, and stuff. I said, so, but God, why is a tail and why is the head going towards the north and the tail in the south? And the Lord told me that the attack was spiritual and it came from the south. It says, in the north was the physical destruction, but the south was actually, sorry, I'll say it again. The north was the source that came down to attack, but the source of the problem was actually the south. He said, unless the people are sold out from within, nothing can overcome them. I'll say it again. Unless people are sold out from within, nothing can overcome them. Says the battle is spiritual and it must come from the south because the south is the source of the problem. I didn't know that. She says that when there's spiritual decay and problems in the south, that is where the serpent comes and can go forward. He told me that the physical manifestation of the evil and the attack might come from the north, but the south had the issues that were spiritual. So the physical of the body is the north, but the spiritual was the south. It says, and the middle belt of the nation is the soul of the nation. that middle belt has been brought down to its knees. So, ooh. It says it's made to feel helpless, hopeless, and worthless. And so the middle belt was crushed by that entity that came. Hear me very well. So there's a southern part of spiritual attack on the nation, a sellout to darkness, and the northern part of actual physical manifestation of the sellout. And the middle belt is where the north has got to come through, but it can't come through unless that belt is very strong, and that belt has to be brought to his knees and made to feel nothing, worthless, hopeless, and helpless. And he said that every part needs to be addressed. Everyone must do its part. There are those who are on the southern part who are going to have to rise up spiritually very powerfully, and we got to take the head of the serpent off the nation. And that's been done. But God says things are about to turn around and change. The northern part, those of you who are in that realm of the physical part, who understand the military things and all the kind, will have to rise up and stand for your nation and make sure that that northern part is taken out or taken care of. And those in the middle belt who have been going through God says that difficult times, God says that we have all come to God to come together and, kind of heal that part. It needs a lot of healing because that part is important. And every part of the nation must rise up and help to heal and bring restoration to that middle belt. Right now, there's hopelessness, there's worthlessness, there's helplessness. We got to go back and bring hope. Got to go back and bring worth by resources, by infusing resources into that area, and show we have help. Give them help. There's worth, there's hope, and there's help. And whoever comes in to rise up and take on the mantle for the nation must make sure that resources are poured into that middle belt to restore it back to what God had ordained before. Because it's very important. It's a soul of the nation. That's what he told me. That's what he. And it's some things were quite they didn't quite make a lot of, because I don't live in Nigeria right now, but I'm Nigerian originally. I'm Nigerian. Sorry, I'm Nigerian. So but I said, God, I got no connections, I got no links, I got no platform to speak. I've got, and God says, you declare what I've told you. So today I'm declaring what God has told me to let you know that there is a season of change in Nigeria. I saw it over 30 years ago in a vision. At that time, the naira was about, I think it used to be about 1 naira to 1 naira was actually, I think it was 1 naira to about 60 cents or 60 pence. I can't remember. It was very strong to the pound and to the dollar. Then it came down to 4 to 1, and I was very close, $4 to 1 naira. And by the time I left Nigeria, God says, I wanted to leave Nigeria very quickly, but God says, no, stay. And I stayed in Nigeria for a long time. And then when it was time to leave Nigeria, he says, okay, you got to leave Nigeria now. And I said, God, why? By that time, it was about 4 to 1. Now it's about 1,000 whatever to 1. And, it's very, very crazy. The nation that was supposed to be a strong nation has been brought down. But God says it's time to rise. So I speak to you prophetically today. And when I had the word this morning, I talked to a prophet who's a very good friend, also like a mentor, an elderly prophet, and I said, this is what I had to say, and he was so excited. And I spoke to somebody in Nigeria who's actually involved, who's been involved in the military, who's an ex-general, and I said, what do you think? And he told me some things. And I said, oh, I didn't even know that. So Nigeria, I want to speak to you that God is saying today that it's time that right now we're pulling out the serpent from that nation, the south, from the southern part. And God says it's a time to bring healing to the nation. The south, once again, must continue to rise up in spirituality and come against that serpent that steals the nation. And that serpent's mouth has been removed and taken off the nation and dropped in the fire like Paul's serpent was in the fire. And then the northern parts, the physical part, has got to be dealt with by those who understand what to do and know what to do. And the middle belt, we say that God will bring forth restoration to you. And all your vineyards and your farms and all those things, God will restore that to you. by the grace of God. The man will rise up who's going to help us to restore all that to you. We have to restore all that to the people of the Middle Belt. So Nigeria, you've got a great time. You've got a great season. I know it's been a bumpy ride, but it's the time of God says it's a new beginning. It's the 18th of August. There are 2 8 and there's one. And God says, I'm going to come and I'm going to start a new beginning in your nation. And it's going to be twice a new beginning. It's double for your trouble. So Nigeria, there's a new beginning. Today is the 18th of August, 188. And God says there's going to be a double portion for what you've lost. My name is Raphael. I love Nigeria. I'm Nigerian. And I'll always be Nigerian. God bless you.